Hello.
What an intro.
Oh, take a seat.
Thanks.
How are you?
Very good. Very excited to be here.
Yeah?
And excited to spill some of my very real inside experiences. Because I've been at Clarins for nearly 3 years now, working in, 9 years with Clarins, and then 3 years within the CRM team. And it's been a bit of a journey.
So, interesting fact, Sophie and I actually have a very similar career history.
We do.
Although, at rivals.
Absolutely.
So, I started a different brand, On Counter, in retail cosmetics, and you also started at Clarins On Counter, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And how's that journey been so far?
Incredible. I absolutely love the brand and just everything about it, customers, products, the whole ethos, the fact that we're a family-run company, and what we stand for. And the main reason I really wanted to get into CRM was I had 6 years of dealing with the customers face-to-face, but the world was changing.
Yeah.
We knew it. We knew how much more was going online and having that shift into digital. And CRM just felt like the fit because it is customers. That is the forefront, you know, being customer-centric, customer-obsessed is the new term. And yeah, it was very lucky how I fell into it, but it's so far really an extension of everything that I've ever done. So standing with the customers, listening to them, hearing what they want, providing a very individual recommendation, and then seeing that repeat purchase and people come back again and creating that loyalty. And that is now basically what I do, but on the digital rather than
But through email.
physical and through email.
Rather than in the retail store.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
completely agree because I think having worked, I shouldn't call it the front line, but it is,
It
in
is.
front of, because it can be the front line sometimes. I'm sure we've all had an experience, but you really get to understand the voice of the customer as well, which is so important in CRM, I guess.
100%. It's something that I talk about constantly. I draw on those experiences all the time. You know, it can be something as basic as somebody comes in for a cleanser and a conversation can lead to a whole new routine. And that is the tricky part, is how you can emulate that digitally.
Yeah.
So that is what we're trying to do constantly on a daily basis, but it's not without its challenges.
Of course. So you mentioned we.
But there is a we, absolutely.
So, if I skip to our next slide, do you want to give us a little bit of a lowdown of what the CRM team at Clarins looks like?
Of course. So I would say that we are quite a lean team. And we have grown, which has been fantastic to have that growth and onboarding new people in and having that new innovation and different mindsets. It's always incredible what each person brings. So we have a really nice hierarchy. So we have our senior CRM manager who is incredible. She started at the beginning of this year, and that was a massive change for me from the way that things have previously been done. So lots of new strategy, lots of innovation, but that's exciting for me. I enjoy change. I've worked for Clarins for 9 years, but I've had 8 different job titles in that time. I don't do static. And she's been fantastic. So that is an amazing influence. Then there is me, which was a promotion for myself at the beginning of the year. So I've been on another journey and having a new place within the team, a new expectation. And then after that, we have another coordinator and then a CRM assistant as well. And the 3 of us kind of run the BAU, the everyday email campaigns. That is our bread and butter and how we spend our time.
Amazing. Let's take a pause for a moment and acknowledge that you just slipped in there. I got a promotion, but I didn't pause for everyone to applause. A well-deserved promotion as well, I might say.
Thank you.
So, with that lean team, what's the journey? Give us the background.
Okay, so I was really lucky that when I came onto the team, we'd already onboarded with Movable Inc. It already existed, so my entire experience within CRM, I have had the absolute pleasure of Movable Inc. saving my life on a daily basis. But there has really been an evolution. So when I first started, it was like all of the out-of-the-box apps what I kind of dub now like the nice to haves.
Yep.
So we would do things like weather targeting if we were talking about sun cream, for example.
Yeah.
And we'd have nice countdown timers when we've got like a last minute promotion, just to really drive that urgency. And then something that we used to do would be like time targeting with the products.
Yeah.
So it would mean if a customer opened the email in the morning, it would show maybe like an energizing body wash. And if they opened it in the evening, then more of like a relaxing body moisturizer.
Yeah.
And again, it's a really nice to have and it's clever, but how much engagement, how much revenue is that actually driving? Are we listening to the customer, or are we just doing things that are clever? Yeah. And realistically, there wasn't as much strategy behind that of what you're doing and how we're using Movable Ink. And what I would say the journey, the biggest shift has been, is that we used to create our emails and add Movable Ink. And now we lead with the capabilities of what Movable Ink can do.
And create the emails around that.
Create them around them. And that has been the biggest shift.
You mentioned those like the nice to haves. I refer to them as the quick wins, because we call them out of the box apps because they are out of the box. They're plug and play. You can launch a countdown timer day one of launching with Movable Ink, and they do drive success. But what you're talking about is taking that and elevating it and learning from what you're learning from the quick wins to then look at the longer term strategy, which is really, really important with everyone that's using Movable Ink to make sure that they're elevating every time and iterating in their journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you can start off with those sorts of strategies where you're, as you say, you are seeing the uplift, you are seeing that engagement. But then if you take it to a standing on the shop floor, would you do that in store? Would you be like, because you're coming in at 9 a.m., I'm going to show you an energizing body wash? Absolutely not. You are not actually listening to your customer. And I think that has been, again, another game changer. So then what we started doing is letting the data lead. So we've started looking then at what products are recruiting our customers, and then what become the loyalizers, and really letting the data lead rather than just going with the nice to haves.
Yeah.
And that has been an absolute game changer. And then there's other things that we've been doing as well. I think surprisingly, it wasn't as much of an issue during COVID. It's more of a 2022 issue in terms of supply chain issues and more out of stocks and more change. And we have to kind of be adaptable and be flexible. And Movable Ink, again, has been paramount in making sure that we can stay relevant and we're giving the customer what they need.
But also what the business needs as well.
Well, yeah.
To an extent, yeah.
And that works with products which are literally suitable for everybody. So, for example, we had a product that we have had for over 30 years. Huge product for us, which absolutely everybody in this room could use, regardless of gender. So realistically, yes, we do. We want to put that to everybody. It works. It is a one-size-fits-all. But we didn't anticipate how good it was going to be. So we did then experience some out of stocks. And then you want to be able to let your customers know the second that product is coming back in. So, for example, I've got a little story with this one. I was assured by supply chain, that it's coming in on this date, it will be live on the website. And then to set the scene with this one, it also was the same week that my entire team was on holiday.
Okay.
So it's just me. So I'm very much a plan for every scenario. I have, experienced so many things where you can be burnt in so many areas. So really planning ahead. And what I decided to do within this email that we had for bank holiday weekend, so it's payday weekend, we've got a promotion, the expectation of what this communication is going to drive for the business is huge. And I want to put this new product in there because it's back in stock. I've been told it's coming in. So what I've done within that email is built a block with Movable Ink where I can put that in. So I have got the ability to swap it out, to change it for different content, if anything should happen. And at this point, I'm building the email 3 weeks in advance of the deployment date. You know, that's the kind of like lead time that we're dealing with. There's lots of processes to go through before you can send an email, as I'm sure everybody knows. And then as we get closer to the date, I'm assured it's going to be in stock. So in my head, I'm thinking, well, that was a waste of time. You know, I've done the extra legwork. I've had 2 creatives brief. That's extra design time. It's not needed, but the block is still there. So it comes to the Friday night, I've had the email confirmation, it's in stock, we're going live with that product. So that content is showing in the email, ready to deploy on Sunday. I just so happened to wake up at 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning and check my emails.
Who does that? I'm not before 9.
Don't judge me, I'm sad. And I just, you know, there was nothing in it. I just went onto my emails and opened, and I thought, oh, what a gorgeous email, fantastic, well done team. And clicked on that product. Out of stock. I have never moved so fast. I was out of my bed, get my laptop open, and within 3 minutes, I've logged into the platform and I've swapped it out for the product that I know is in stock. And I feel like Movable Ink, once again, has literally saved my life. Because that is, you know, from a brand perspective, that's terrible. You know, it's payday weekend, we've got a big promotion. It was the first block in the email. Imagine as a customer, you click through and it's out of stock. That is a terrible customer journey. 3 minutes, it's gone.
Yeah. And linking back, if you were in a retail store, you'd already know what the customer might be after and not show them the product that's out of stock.
Yeah,
so
you put the tester in the drawer. You do, they do,
you
we
do
that.
We do. Straight in the drawer.
Yeah,
no,
it doesn't exist.
We've never had that product.
No, you don't. You do not draw attention to it because I can't make a sale that day.
Absolutely.
It's just the truth.
I can see it now. Movable Ink, saving lives is our new slogan. So
I say this all the time, like, I would have been sacked by now. It saves my life on a daily basis.
I love that. So I've popped up an example that we put together, and this is your virtual boutique takeover. So tell me about what this is doing, because this is swapping content based on Movable Ink blocks. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, just to talk through this one. Again, I won't bore you with all the logistics of the cosmetic industry, but you have certain products which, as I said with my previous example, you know, one size fits all. They do work for everybody. Also our best sellers and the ones that we want to, you know, maintain our ranking. So there's certain products which are fine, and you can, and you would even, like, you know, in a retail setting, you would introduce that product to every customer. Yeah. But then that's where the whole listening element comes in. So if somebody stands in front of you and says, well, this is my concern, or you can visually see from their age what sort of category you could place them in, you can then make that snap decision. Oh, okay, so this person has said that they are over 50, experiencing the menopause, right, okay, that's the product I want to recommend. So how do we do that digitally? And that, again, is where Movable Ink comes in. So in the past, what we would have had to do to make sure that we're being personalised and we're listening to the customer and giving them what they want, that would have been, well, we've got 7 franchises, which is not McDonald's, by the way, which is what I always think of when I hear franchise. That's our moisturisers, sorry. So, yeah, I would then have had to create 7 versions of that email. So, again, like the demand on our creative team and the time of that and the cost of integrating then each HTML and then testing each one, you know, we'd be sending 1 email a month at that sort of rate to be that personalised. So now what we can do is brief 1 version of the email, and then the key part that we want to be personalised. So in this example here, you can see the breakout of the moisturisers. Yeah. We then brief those, quickly slice them up, put them in the platform, and then we can take it 1 step further. You can use all of the Movable Ink data, but that is then 30 days of browsing history, which is really powerful because that's our active customers. So we know exactly what they've been looking at. But then also we can feed in with the dynamic fields. So we can then use all of the data that's in our ESP, which is amazing because we've got age of our customer in there. Yeah. We've also got their purchase history, so what they're interested in, what they have actually been buying, what they're actually wanting. So again, it's that listening, and then we're serving them with the correct product, which then ticks all of those boxes.
Fits their needs.
Absolutely.
It's a prime example of your data-driven content.
Yes, absolutely. And then with this, we want to take it further as well, which is the great thing with Movable Ink is I've found that as my confidence with the platform has grown, my ability to think about the possibilities just keeps coming. And then you think, okay, so we want to make sure we're talking to everybody, but that only works if I have a purchase history and if I know their age. But what if I don't have that information? If they're new to the brand and I don't have anything? On counter, I could talk to them and ask those questions. So how do I do that? And that's then where we can use our data insights and we can look at, again, those two categories of recruiters and then the loyalizers. And this is a constant conversation with, say, us and the trade team.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you've got to have some proof, you've got to have some insights. And that's where Movable Ink is now going to help us with the next stage. So now we're going to be using things like the optimizer on the fallback. Because trade say, we'll go with the bestseller. But actually, the data now is saying in terms of what is recruiting customers in is going to be like a lower price point item. So we need to test the theory. And again, Movable Ink can do that for us because we can activate the optimizer and put in the two options.
And prove a result.
And proof.
So you're using your data to generate content for loyal customers. And then you're using Movable Ink to gather data to inform recruitment.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Our next example is gift with purchase, and you've mentioned gift with purchase a couple of times.
Yeah.
So gifts with purchase, change at any moment, right?
We would like to say that they don't.
Okay.
But we, especially during COVID, when we were just seeing massive influxes of traffic, you could never have forecast for that. It's just impossible. And then again, we are Europe's #1 skincare brand. New launches, people go crazy, and you can easily oversell, things sell out. We don't always know what is going to happen. So yes, our gifts with purchase, which is our e-com exclusive, so it's only available online, so it really draws customers in. They love it. The gifts are amazing, so they are a real draw card. So they're very important that we get them right. But yes, there is always the possibility that we could sell out and literally a last minute email could be, we're going to have to switch on the backup because we've had such a fantastic day. And yes, we need to make sure that we're not disappointing customers and they will receive what we tell them they are going to get from us. Because obviously customer satisfaction is key.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the gifts, it's a blocker. If we are not going to offer that gift, we cannot tell a customer that we will.
Okay.
So if the offer does sell out and we have to go with a backup and that email shows the previous gift,
that's a no-go.
That's a no.
So that's how, we've got two images here for those that can look at the screen. They are separated. But so the top image is your gift that's currently available.
Yes.
And then the bottom, what's this one?
Okay, so as I say, yeah, it can be a huge, it's just a no-go. That email's not being sent, which is then hugely detrimental to the business.
Yeah.
Before we had Movable Ink, those gifts would be hard-coded in the HTML. That's at least a day delay to try and get that changed out, and also the manpower, the hours that takes. So by immediately switching and having all of our gifts in the platform, it does mean that if that email comes through, which could be 5 o'clock, to say, as of 6 a.m., we're switching over, we need to be agile.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing for me with this is that I could have already scheduled that email, but I have still got the ability to go into the platform and literally just switch it out. It's minutes. However, again, that only works when you have got your design team available to then maybe amend the creative, switch out a component. But there's times when that will come on a Friday night and people have gone home. That's just the truth. So our backup plan is that we then have this banner, and this is amazing because this is then web cropped, taken from the website. So whatever they're saying in the copy, that is the gift.
Yeah.
That is then going to pull through live in the email. So that's no design time.
And you're pushing responsibility there from CRM onto the online team.
Yeah.
Saying if it's right online, it's right in the email.
Absolutely, which is amazing again for the customer. It's that continuity is there. And it's never wrong, because that is always the source of truth.
Love that.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of countdown timers, we have a lovely clicker in front of us, which is counting down the seconds. So I'm actually going to skip. We've been chatting for ages. We're chatty Cathys, we are. I'm going to skip through what's next, because I'm going to let everyone hear about that next year when you come back and tell them what you did in 2023. But what was your proudest moment with Movable?
That's really hard. Okay, so I could sit in two camps, because is it something that we've done that was huge, that made us loads of money? I'm actually not sure in terms of what would make me the most proud. I think my journey has been amazing, but there's been a lot of learning curves for me. And I think the thing that I'm most proud of is the overall journey, which would be lots of little accumulations of development and confidence, growth and building. And I drive you nuts, like, don't lie. Every call I'm like, right, can we do this? That's why he's leaving me. Can we do this? Can we try that? Okay, what's the option here? And I would say for this year, like, looking at the platform and where we were at the beginning of the year to now, together, because that's how it really feels. Like, we always say, like, you're the extra in our team, got your own employee number, really, because you're part of the gang. But we couldn't have done it without that support, because it's that constant innovation within our own platform and our tool and what we do. And as I say, when I think about where we were and where we've come and where we're going to go, because we've got big plans for 2023, I think that's it. I think that, you know, going with it and building and the innovation and not being stubborn and standing still and saying, this is how we do things. I hate that. That line of, that's what we've always done, of this is how we do it. It's dangerous. And Movable Inc. enables us to keep going and keep growing. And I'm really proud of that. I just think that's fantastic.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing 20 minutes with me on stage. It's always a pleasure.
It is.
And I think you've just got your invite for 2023. Thanks so much. We'll get it over to you in email later on. Please, everyone, give a really warm round of applause to Sophie Waring.